Paul Ricard in the south of France. We've just come to the end of track action for the first day of the race meeting here for the European Le Mans Series. The Formula Renault cars have just been taken back to the paddock behind us. We thought this would be a good opportunity in near 30 degree. This spectacular paddock is going to be home to the French Grand Prix again from next year, but for now occupied by a fantastic array of sports racing cars. The world's biggest array, by the way, of LMP racing cars outside of the Le Mans 24 Hours. We've got the pit lane. We're going to take a walk all the way down there with Julien, who's on the camera. First up is going to be, well, the first of what is a gaggle of the Ligier JSP3s. Have dominated in the numerical terms these cars. We'll take a quick look around the back here, Julien, these cars, Ligier. If you take a quick look here, this is the Nismo engine, about 430 brake horsepower from these V8 engines, X-Track gearbox. And here, inside that little yellow sticker, that tells us that's the 18 engine drivetrain produced by Orica for LMP3. Built in 2015 later on, so a very early version of the drivetrain. It's a standard drivetrain for the EGAs and for the Normas, we'll see a little later. But between these cars, between the LMP2 cars, we'll see those as well in just a few moments, and between the Michelin Le Mans Cup, and if we get time we're going to take a look through the paddock as well. 43 LMP cars racing here. There's more than that here. We've got a few spare cars as well. It's probably close to 50 cars here this weekend. Plus a dozen or more GTE cars and GT3 cars across the two grids. Means well over 50 race cars are going to be on track, already have been on track in free practice. It's going to be one heck of a racing weekend. We always love coming here to the Circuit Paul Ricard. It produces great sports car racing. It's been a great addition back into the calendar after its years as a high-tech test track under the ownership of Bernie Eccleston. There's a few reminders that Bernie used to be in charge a little further down this pit lane. But what did actually Now back at Monza, we had the oldest car in the field taking the win in GTE. This is now the newest car in the field, the BMW Motorsport team, fresh from their win in the GTM class at the Le Mans 24 Hours, here with their brand new Ferrari 488 GTE. Though this isn't exactly what it might seem. BMW Motorsport realising that with the Ferrari package, buy a GT3 car. You can take the bits off, you've got a GTE car. This is therefore the first ever GT3 car to actually take a win at the Le Mans 24 Hours, albeit in GTE form. The team may or may not have a few plans to race this car. Actually, it's a GT3 car in the future in a couple of major events. But she's stunning. She's always beautifully turned out by the boys here. Still with Jim McWhirter's tribute livery to the Bugatti Type 46. Bugatti Type 46. Steve Robson agreement. The fantastic cherry red pearlescent metallic wrap of this car. Looks great on the circuit. Doesn't sound quite as lovely as the old 458, but the boys won't care about that because it's a little bit quicker. There you go. Fast. Pretty car. Johnny Cocker back with the team again this weekend with two regular guys, Jody Fannin. First of the Normas here. This is the Oregon team car. 4 Normas now in the European Le Mans Series grid. A 5th if we add in the car DKR Engineering in Michelin Le Mans car. You can see behind you, Julien, there. Difference in the nose here. You've got that scalloped kind of look to the Ligiers. This is a far more pointed nose. Very quick indeed in a straight line. We've seen that throughout the season. It's giving the Ligier teams nightmares in terms of straight line speed. Here at Paul Ricard, we've gone with a configuration for this circuit. Huge number of configurations available to the track managers here. With a chicane on the Mistral Straight. It's in that format that we will see the Grand Prix run next year, the French Grand Prix back on the calendar, and we'll be back here at Paul Ricard. We haven't run with the chicane in European Le Mans Series spec for several years, so it's going to be interesting to see what that does in terms of the ultimate lap time, what it does in terms of the top speed, particularly with these much quicker LMP2 cars. Still in effect what we call the Granny Annex down here. Proton competition here. Number 77 Porsche. Proton competition the absolute epitome of Porsche privateer racers, racing in the ELMS, racing in the FIWC, and Christian Reed telling me earlier today that they are looking to see whether or not they can't persuade Porsche to sell them four 2017 spec mid-engine 911 RSRs. That might be a bit of a big ask. We think only 6 are going to be available for the whole world. But they'd like to bring 2 of those new for this year cars to the European Le Mans Series next year. They'd like to bring a further 2 to GTM in the FIWC this year. This is a 2015 spec car, as all 3 of the cars are active with the team are. Always clearly working on the rear of the car. Plenty of bodywork off. By the look of things, we've got some attention going on to the gearbox. Team opting to run with the 2015 spec car because they have 3 of them. It means that they can save on the parts that they carry across all the different programs that run in Europe and globally. We'll see one of their other cars in Mexico City for the FI World Endurance Championship in just a week's time. The brakes being changed as well at the moment, we can see. We're going to get out their way. Lots of heavy lifting stuff going on. Still very busy, and it is very warm indeed, near 30-degree heat. This is a bit of a fan favourite, known certainly to UK fans as the Norwich City car. This is the Inter-Europol car. It's flagged by Poland. Cara, say hello.
Yeah, hello.
This is Cara. This is
Cara. Hiya.
Hello. And this is a German team, Cara, yes?
It's a German team, and it's got a Polish sponsor, hence the Polish flag on the car.
And Inter-Europol are I believe, an industrial baker.
Yes, they are.
So a lot of bread in this team.
No, sometimes we go do shopping, and then we'll find some bread in the supermarket. That always gets bought.
Always gets bought.
That's our bread.
That's our bread. There you go.
That's
fabulous.
Our daily bread.
It's another of the eponymous now cliches. We'll show you a little detail in this car as we come back to the front of the delivery bar. Just to look here, just on this side, Julien, you'll see a little chassis plate down there. Can you see that? There we go. That's got a number. This is the 57th Ligier GSP3 to be built. Well over 100 of those now built. Hello, chaps. So this is somewhere in the middle of that batch. This is a car that won a race last year. This is a team, by the way. They have a spare car at the back of the garage. These guys are championship winning team in LMP3, not here in the European Le Mans Series, although they've been getting some great results this year, but in the VDV Series. Series operated across France and Southern Europe for the most part, but they did very well last year and came away with that title. We'll move on.
And we're now first in the GT and Prototype Challenge in Holland, by about 3 points.
That's proper PR, you see. She knows all the numbers. Fantastic. Thanks, Cara.
Thanks.
Cara de Vlaming, well-known face in sports car racing paddocks. Here's the first of the GT racing beasts from Aston Martin. 2 of those on the grid. Both 2016 spec cars. We'll pop around the back if we can in a moment to have a look at the key point that you can recognise a 2016 car. That is the heart of the beast, the big V8 engine in the Vantage. This is the same spec of car that would have been raced by the factory in GT Pro last year. Around the back here, you'll see a big diffuser. That's the bustle. It's kept while they wait for a brand new Aston Martin on that. I would think through your chosen sports car racing news source in the coming days and weeks. No doubt we will be seeing a very different looking Aston Martin Vantage GTE for the coming years. Another of the Ligiers here, the My Speed Factory team. This is the number 5 team. We do love a little bit of bare carbon fibre, don't we, Julien? It's the kind of thing that's not suitable for work. We'll move on from that because it's just too sexy. Second of the Aston Martins, beautiful livery here with the TF Sport car, the pearlescent blue. Factory driver at the back there, Nicky team. Nicky, let's have a look at the hair. How's the hair doing? That's fun. That's the worry. It's the worry. Nicky team. Championship driver last year with the Aston Martin racing team. This team great example of what can be achieved in ACO rules racing. Winning last year the Michelin GT3 Le Mans Cup as it was then, moving on to GTE, winning that opportunity to compete at the Le Mans 24 Hours, going there and doing very well indeed, and flying very high indeed in the championship this year. Identical car to the beach theme car we've just seen. Three drivers here: Nicky, the factory driver of the three, Ewan Hankey, the other pro driver, Sally Yoluk, first ever Turkish driver to start the Le Mans 24 Hours, and Sally, another great example of actually what can be done with a great driver trainer. It's this man, and a great team. That's these guys from the southeast of England, and they're going to give us a quick wave. Ricky Martino there from the race engineers seat. Let's give us a quick shout. Great stuff. Ricky to be seen in paddocks around the world, engineering these cars, Porsches, Bentleys, you name it. In exports, and this is the first of the LMP2 cars. Similar looking nose to the Ligier. This is though the JSP 217, and this is the first of the Gibson engine cars. We'll see if the guys mind if we can just have a quick look down the so this side, Julian, we'll see the masterpiece. This is the new 2017 Gibson V8 engine that powers all of these ACO spec global LMP2 cars. So it's Ligier, Aurora, Riley, Orica. We'll see three of those cars, including this one, LMP2. Astonishing speeds wherever they are. They're about to stretch their legs. And at Le Mans this year, putting in pole-setting times, the Ligiers, the Oricas, that were quicker than the last pole-setting times by a pre-hybrid LMP1. That's how fast those things are. Not just straight line speed, but actually the cornering efforts as well. Swan's left their piece of bodywork there for the Michelin Le Mans Cup session. Hope you've remembered they've left it. Now we're walking up, and it is uphill. You can see the start finish straight there, just 10 to 6 now in the evening. That will click over in a moment to temperature reading. There we are, 28.4 degrees centigrade. See the mountains beyond. It's a beautiful part of the world here. Mistral straight over to our right behind the buildings here, and we do get the Mistral wind whipping across here from time to time, but not at the moment. It's dead calm, and all the nicer for that. Up into AF Corsa world, and the AF Corsa, of course, we expect Ferraris. We've already seen the GTEs. This is the 55 car Duncan Cameron's car, shared with Matt Griffin, Matteo Griffoni, the world's most Italian Irishman, and Aaron Scott. On this side, the 51 car. Effectively the road is the Roda family car with Andrea Bertolini, driver from the Ferrari team, long-time Maserati factory driver, one of the nicest men of motorsport. Over on that side, the third car here, very much not a Ferrari, and again, not for the first time, AF Corsa getting into the prototype customer marketplace with the World of Tanks liveried AT racing car. Another team stepped up from a GT class Ferrari last year to an LMP3 Ligier this year, doing very well. We'll see again here. Just a quick look at that little sticker on the engine. So by now we're up to the 78th engine actually built and provided for the team by Orica. So good business, by the way, for Orica. Orica's factory, by the way, just outside the circuit here, where they build the chassis, not the engine. Chassis for their LMP2 cars, and for that matter, back in the day, the Rebellion LMP1s, just outside the circuit here. Another of the Ligiers, this time it's from the UK anti-cars, RLRM Sport from northwest of England. They have a car both in the European Le Mans Series and in the Michelin Le Mans Cup. Really effective white livery with that yellow and black stripe down the middle. Team that's coming on strong, this one. Now here's the first of the Delaras. This is the all-Italian, very Italian, Settimana Roman Corsa car. Just outside Venice, number 47 car, very, very quick. Again with that same Gibson engine that we've seen in the of the car, 600 brake horsepower in these cars, incredibly efficient aerodynamics, and this is a proper piece of work. This would not have been disgraced in LMP1, 5-6 years ago. This car shows the kind of progress that's actually been made. So this is the first time we've seen Dallara back in with one of their own badged chassis into LMP racing for, well, you know, it's about a decade and a half, maybe a little more than that, something like 2002, 2003, when those cars were brand new, and back in now as one of the 4 approved chassis makers for LMP2. You can buy any one of those 4, you'll be buying exactly the same engine in the back, built in Derbyshire in the United Kingdom by the Gibson Technology guys. They're here to support the customers. Another LMP3 team, and this is a unique team in a couple of regards. One is they have 2 cars, that's not unique. One, the Norma, again in super sexy all over carbon. On the other side of the garage, a Ligier. So they've split their loyalties here, and that's a smart thing to do to see where the relative strengths and weaknesses of the package are going to be. You'll see, by the way, we've seen a Ligier at the back, but I'm just looking at the Norma back. And just to prove it, there you go. Same sticker on the back, 107. Over 100 now drivetrains actually produced for these LMP3 cars. So this is the M Racing YMR team. M Racing YMR is Ivan Muller, multiple world champion in touring cars. He now owns this sports car outfits, the black car there, the number 10 car. Amongst the drivers there, Jan Erlacher, his nephew, the son of his sister, Kathy Muller, herself no mean international racer, and now a WTCC race winner too. He won just a few weeks ago in Argentina. Second of the Dallaras, P217. This is the high class racing team. Team stepping up from Renault RS01 Racing, now a defunct single make championship for Renault. But Dennis Anderson and Anders Fjordbach stepping over to this LMP2 effort. 2 drivers, 1 pro. Anders, 1 am. Dennis Anderson, very much a rookie at this kind of level. They know the circuits because they've raced these circuits. But certainly this is some way up in terms of the technology and in terms of the pace, but they've done extremely well in the early races this season, have shown really strongly indeed. Another of the UK based team, 360 Racing, it's another of the Ligiers. As we say, around 100 of these cars now sold into the European Le Mans Series, into the Le Mans Cup, into lots of other championships all around the world. It's the same basic setup again. We're not going to show you another yellow sticker, but you get the general idea. It's a spec drivetrain for these cars. It's the same gearbox, it's the same engine. It's a cost-cap car, and it's a very accessible way to go international sports car racing. It's proved to be incredibly popular in a very short space of time. Quite near the end of this grid yet. Graph Racing. Now, first the Oricas, and this is a 2-car team stepping up this time, Graph Racing, from P3 to P2 and doing it in style with a pair of these Orica 07 cars. See the sculpted aero on the side here. Highly advanced aerodynamics. This proves to be the class of the field in Le Mans in terms of the pace, the outright lap pace and the outright pace around the Le Mans circuit, and for much of the rest of the season. It's a little bit more evened out with the high downforce body package that these cars must carry outside the Le Mans. Guys working under the body here. Lots of work going on before the cars hit the track tomorrow. We've had 1 free practice session and what we call the bronze test, which is where the gentleman drivers get the opportunity to have a little bit of an extra go at it. Just a quick look at the front body work here. You can see this may not be the super trimmed out, super streamlined low downforce kit. You can see it is a very slick front end to this Orica. These big old turning planes here, helping the car to get into the corners. Massive pace capable in LMP2 cars now. Actually very pretty cars indeed. Really shows what you can do with a bit more power, more aero, more development, more knowledge. These people just squeeze more and more out of the very same package. Yet another LMP3 car. You'll get bored of these, won't you? We don't. This is the Cool Racing by GPC team that's stepping up to the European Le Mans Series for the first time this year. We've seen this throughout the last 2 or 3 years. Where the teams have had a year the same tracks with these same cars, they'll come forward and they will do better, they'll go quicker. These are the guys who are finding it quite tough this year. Next year, they stick with it, no doubt at all, they'll be up with the pack. Pretty safe. Algarve Pro Racing, another one of the Ligier P2 cars. Ligier P217. Asian Le Mans Series champions from this year, in fact, 2016 into 2017. Not with this car, because in Asia they run the previous iteration of LMP2s. This is another of those these 2017 spec LMP2 cars. You can see the way in which the aero actually just wraps around this body. Real complex aerodynamic shapes and sculpted scallops along the side here, just managing air through the car, around the car and over the car, trying to give the best downforce possible, the lowest drag possible. It's always that balance between the two. The car's running, keys in, dare we? We're not going to do that, are we? Eduardo wouldn't like it, would he? No, he wouldn't. Down to the last part of the pit lane, not even close to the end of this grid. The next team, which is another 2-car Orica team, and this is the team that leads the championship. This is Dragon Speed, G-Drive Racing by Dragon Speed 22 car, championship leader, 21 car, which has been showing pace all through the year, and had no luck at all last time out at the Red Bull Ring, where leading the race, doing very well indeed. We had a power cut across the whole valley that knocked out all the systems, and somewhere in that, the team just lost track of where they were in terms of the fuel window for this car, and they ran short of fuel, 30 metres short of safety. Let's see how much is packed under that. Everything's low down here, look. Everything's low now. It's about keeping these cars as low as possible to the ground. The car without wheels, there's the second car with the side pods back on, so you can see how this kind of builds up, and it stays low. The engine's super low in the chassis. It's all about just keeping the centre of gravity in these cars very low, making sure you can get through the turns quickly. Second time in succession on the way. The old war horse, Nick Manasian, quick Nick. Back aboard this car with Ryo Hirakawa again on Toyota factory duty in Japan for Super GT. An absolute beast. Talk a little bit about the tyres as well. These big Dunlop slicks. There's a tyre war in LMP2. We've got a couple of the teams running on Michelin. So Dunlop dominate in numerical terms and dominated in the results this year so far as well. They do like to see whether or not they can get one over on the old rivals at Michelin, which is Duquesne there, from Duquesne Engineering. But it's going by the wheelchair. No mean race for himself in GT3 cars, hand-controlled GT3 cars back just half a decade or so ago. Another team with 2 cars, but Panis Barthez here with one LMP3 car there, one LMP2 car there. The 16 is the LMP3, the 23 is the LMP2. Both these ones, both the same standard packages we've seen before. You've seen the gear cluster at the back there. The guys actually changing out. They're changing gear ratio on that car. Always look at these gearboxes when they're disassembled and think it's the most complicated thing in the world. But make no mistake, there will be no mistakes here. The team owned by Fabien Barthez and Olivier Panis and their partners, bringing a high-profile French-run effort to the European Le Mans Series and for the Le Mans 24 Hours. It's been great to see them stepping up. We talked a little earlier about the Cool Racing by GPC guys, first year in the European Le Mans Series, finding it tough. Ultimate here, second year of competition, exactly the same kind of car. Last year they found it quite tough. This year they're right up there and challenging for the title. That's what you can get with a better home team, with more understanding of the car, with the data that you need on these tracks. And these guys are in the hunt for the title against the really heavy hitters. Pretty looking car out on the circuit with this kind of metallic pearlescent red and white livery. Another pretty car. Another Dalara's. This is the third of what is now 4 Dalara's in the field. This is the Racing Team Netherlands effort. It's Van Aert and the legend that is Jan Lemmers. Another Dalara Gibson. The team has 2 cars, the other one is a spare. But this car looks just magnificent on track. This yellow livery really suits this form. See, despite the fact that we're well over an hour since the cars have been in from the pre-practice session, no shortage of work going on in every single garage. Duquesne Engineering, we saw Gilles Duquesne just a moment ago. This is a team that's made a change this weekend. From 2 races ago, the team ran with 2 Ligiers. Last time out at the Red Bull Ring it was 1 Ligier and 1 Norma, and now 2 Normas. They've made the call, they're going the Norma routes. They do run a Ligier in the Michelin Le Mans Cup, but 2 Normas it is. But interestingly, very new car, older engine. So the Normas, 2 of 43 LMP cars we've got here at the Circuit de Paul Ricard. By the way, the other car, 123, so almost 100 engines built since the car to my right and the car to my left. That goes to show just how successful the LMP3 product has been internationally, here in Europe, in Asia and across in North America now. This is the 4th and final of the Dalara's, and the latest one to actually join us in the European Le Mans Series. Made its debut, the SMP Racing Team, Russian flag team of course. They've done all sorts in sports car racing and vastly successful in terms of championships won as well. It's a brand new Dallara for the SMP Racing Team. It's a team that is due to show us their latest weapon, due to join the WEC, the FIWC next season, a brand new Dallara LMP1. And here, one of the most successful teams in the Paddock in recent seasons. This is United Autosports. 3 cars in this garage. Final garage in this part of the circuit. The far end is number 32 car, race-winning car in LMP2. Won the first race of the new LMP2 regulations in the European Le Mans Series at Silverstone. 2 cars, 2 LMP3 cars, here to defend the title won last year by United Autosports. Their struggles this year, at least by the way, 3 of 5 cars being filled in by United Autosports. We're about to go have a quick wander across the Michelin Le Mans Cup paddock. 2 more of these babies there as well. LMP3 to LMP2. Cars being fettled heavily here, brakes work being done, engine work being done, gearbox work being done, guys under the car, over the car, back of the car. Hard work in these temperatures. And we're going to have a walk up the back, I think, Julien, if we possibly can, to wait for the guys. How long we've got? Should we restart? Should we do another one with Michelin Le Mans Cup?
Yeah.
We're going to call an end to this one for the moment. We're going to restart this. Stick with us. In about 5 minutes' time, we're going to have a walk up to the Michelin Le Mans Cup paddock and do another 15 minutes or so. Thanks for joining us for the moment. We'll keep doing these things. I have fun. Hope you are too. We'll see you in a moment.